Orientation to Blended Learning 1.1 and 1.2. Changing World and Changing Learners. There are 6 changes that demonstrate today's learning expectations. We have analog to digital, where info is more accessible online, tethered to mobile, where the info can be accessed from anywhere, and isolated versus connected. I think you get that one. Generic to personal, personalized to your own experiences. We have consuming to creating, whereas we watch versus do. And then closed to open, so it's open sharing without any privacy. Today's learners are considered digital natives, and in order to reach students of today, we need to use this infographic, appropriate balance of face-to-face and online so that we can reach all of our learners. And our credits.
Section 1.3 and 1.4, why blend and critical concepts of a blended course. Why blend? Increase access and convenience. So students and teachers can participate when most convenient. Improved learning includes instructional design, guidance and triggers, learning activities, learning opportunities, social interaction, note the phone, and time on task. It's supposed to decrease our costs as well. Right now, the trend is going towards blending. Technology is simply a tool, and the revolution is led by teachers who are driving the improvements in education. Critical concepts for blended course design. Asynchronous is not the same, whereas synchronous is happening at the same time or happening in real time. Planning and learning time and blending the right technology are important to be successful.
Section 1.5, Time Expectations. What can a person realistically do? Daily, you should check for and respond to student questions and identify struggling students. Also, read and contribute to online discussions. Good job, folks. Weekly, you should grade and provide feedback, evaluate, and add to your course as needed. Section 1.6, Summary and Standards. Blended learning equals lifelong learning habits.
Elements of a blended course. There is no single best model for blended courses. It should support the desired learning outcomes. Find the rhythm. Consider time on-site versus time online. Teaching philosophy. Literacy in specific technologies. Allow for student variation, giving added flexibility. Blended courses put more responsibility for learning on the student.
Sections 2.3 and 2.4 give class examples of activities that happen online and face-to-face. Face-to-face for this American literature example might include discussions and essay portfolios. In the 2.4 example of oceanography, the face-to-face activities might include peer instruction, field trips, and exams.
2.5 and 2.6, technology for elementary education teachers, aka the little ones. Oh, sorry, the littles. So they wanted to focus on blending, especially with getting the little kids to learn internet safety and tech literacy. But they felt that some kids were going too fast and some were going too slow. So they decided they needed to have a better blended rhythm. So what the teachers decided to do is they met at the beginning of the class, and then the middle of the class the kids were more on their own, and then at the end of the class they met again. However, they had a lab where kids could go in and get help from the teacher anytime they needed. The focus to make this class work was organization, a good old-fashioned scope and sequence.
3.1, engaging the heart and mind. 3.2, creating engagement through learner interaction. Online content can be too cognitive. Make sure you keep the heart in your assignments. Creating engagement through learner interaction. The physical distance is not as important as the psychological distance. This means use the strength of both human and content interaction, including emotions, patience, complex diagnostics, and access.
3.3, designing human interactions to engage learners. The strengths of online and on-site learning. The strengths of on-site learning are the human connection and spontaneity. Go ahead. Strengths of online learning, flexibility, participation, and the depth of reflection. Weaknesses of on-site learning. Participation, not all participate in large classes. Flexibility and limited time to reach depth. Weaknesses of online learning, limited spontaneity, procrastination, and a lack of human connection. Blended learning is the best of both worlds.
3.4, designing content interaction to engage learners, because learning is fun. The advantage is the computers and the internet are available 24/7, and computers never tire of giving feedback. Blended discussions are that you can either do face-to-face to online, or you can go online and go around to face-to-face. Student content interaction can either be static or dynamic.
Rethinking course design, section 4.1. Simply replicating on-site activities online will not yield the best results. Consider learning outcomes when deciding if technology is appropriate. Some on-site activities will not work in an online environment. Simplify the course design by going backwards. Keep it learning-centered. Start with outcomes, move to the assessments, and then design activities. This ensures that everything is aligned with your educational goals. Focus on one lesson at a time.
Section 4.2, a strategy of iterative development. First, you design a lesson, then engage the students, and most importantly, you evaluate and revise your lesson. This is a continuous cycle. Here are ways to evaluate so you can revise. Survey the students, online discussions, and peer reviews. Plan to improve your course design in small ways whenever you touch the course.
4.3, summary and standards. Backwards design, outcomes before instruction. Appendix 1, blended course standards checklist, pages 195 through 197. Using course goals, using your SMART goal to match learning outcomes. The communication needs to be clear, simple, and expectations written out that way. That also.
Learning should be organized so that it is scaffolded, whether it's online or in class. Each step should be broken down into manageable parts. Teachers should provide feedback to students, and students should have the opportunity to practice. Blended learning should connect to students' lives and give them opportunities to reflect on their learning.
Appendix 2, focusing on Bloom's taxonomy. There are actually 6 domains of Bloom's taxonomy, and they're focusing on different areas of cognitive, which is know, by being able to recall, and understand, which is being able to explain and summarize. There's also applying and analyzing, where you implement and organize. And then to evaluate and create, by checking and critiquing and then producing. It's also important, besides the cognitive domain, to incorporate psychomotor, which would be focusing on the physical skill, and the affective, which is focusing on the emotions.